Freedom and liberty is like air. When you don't receive it, you suffer. These words were said by Jalil Mammadguluzadeh. Who is he? Today we're gonna learn it. Let's go back in time to 1869 and focus our camera to Azerbaijan, Nakhchivan. It's 22nd of February, an excited day in a merchant family. They're having a baby boy, and they called this baby Jalil Mammadguluzadeh, who later will be the one of the important persons in Azerbaijan's literature. Jalil Mammadguluzadeh firstly entered ecclesiastical school and learned Arabic and Persian. Later he went to Nakhchivan City School and learned Russian. In 1882 he entered the Gori Pedagogical Seminary in Georgian city of Gori, and in here he developed his worldview. In 1887 he graduated from a Gori Pedagogical Seminary, and for the next 10 years was involved in a teaching at a rural school in Bashnorashan, Ulukhanlı, Nehram and other towns and villages of Yerevan. During the years when the writer taught in Nehram, Jalil Mammadguluzadeh witnessed the oppression, poverty and ignorance in a village. In 1894 he wrote his first prose work story, Stories of Danabash village, by taking the theme of the story from this life. Based on real-life materials, author described the life of peasants, slavery of a woman, the oppression and injustice of a working people. One of the targets of a satire in the work is the nobles, Tsarist regime, corrupt Tsarist officials. In that time, every work had to get permission of a Tsarist government to get published. And unfortunately, Stories of a Danabash village was not published during his lifetime. He described it as, I wanted to write, I really wanted to write, but I didn't know why I was writing and for whom, because I didn't hope that the government would allow me to publish. Mammadguluzadeh's first published work was the short story The Postbox, which was published in Azeri publication Shergi Rus in 1904. He became a columnist for Shergi Rus, which provided him with an opportunity to publish fiction. In 1906, he founded the literary and satire magazine Molla Nasraddin. The magazine got its name from a scholar in the 13th century who wrote satirical and humorous stories. It contained essays, poems, and cartoons that portrayed issues arising from the present world. The magazine will comment on everyday issues that arose from a society, hence it focused on political realities. The magazine was not well accepted in Tsarist government, and it was followed by controversies every corner. After Sovietization, Molla Nasraddin was under increasing pressure, though stopped its publishing in 1931. In Jalil Mammadguluzadeh's stories, the theme of a struggle against female slavery has an important place. In his stories, he always opposed the enslavement of a woman and fought for their freedom. The writer welcomed the publication of the magazine Eastern Woman, congratulated her in article Eastern Woman published in Molla Nasraddin. Mirza Jalil's stories, Skilled Woman, Two Husbands, A Little Mistake, as well as My Old Sorrow, and many more were published in that magazine. In 1924, on the occasion of the anniversary of the magazine Oriental Woman, the writer said in an article entitled My Old Sorrow, most of the pen I have written all my life has been on the issues of an Eastern woman. I can understand the pain of the Eastern woman better than anyone. It was my old pain. Was there a problem to liberate the women of the East? From what? From the shackles of Sharia, from the chains of Islam, from the dungeons of a harem, from the oppression of a black sheet. Mammadguluzadeh wrote in various genres, including short stories, novels, essays, and dramatics. His later works, such as the Iranian Constitution, Kurban Ali Bey, The Lamp, as well as in his famous comedies The Corpses and The Madman Gathering, he ridiculed corruption, snobbery, ignorance, religious fanaticism, and etc. He wrote the tragedy namely Kamancha that was dedicated to Karabakh problem. He died of natural causes in Baku in 1932, aged 65. He was a feminist who fought for women's rights and education. He was a strong activist of a language unification and became deeply involved in the process of romanization of the Azeri alphabet. He was a genius, modern, and a far-sighted person, and even now his writings are prevailing. Many of his works played on stage or became a movie. The works of Jalil Mammadguluzadeh have been translated into a number of languages. In the Azerbaijani Republic, many streets, villages, and institutions was named after him. His statue was carved in Nakhchivan and Jalilabad. In Baku and Nakhchivan, there are houses, museums, and statues of him.